Hello there. I see you have put the record on the record player so your lovable little furry pal Grover can tell you a fairy tale. I am so glad. We are going to have lots of fun. Now, you just get all comfy for listening, all right? Are you ready? Good. Here we go. This story is called The Princess and the Pea, and it goes like this.
Oh, hi, Grover. What you doing?
Oh, hello, Herry Monster. I am going to tell a fairy tale.
Oh, boy. Can I listen too?
Of course, Harry. Just get comfy and Grover will begin.
Wait,
now,
Grover. Here comes Big Bird and Ernie and the Count. Hey, hurry up, you guys. Grover's gonna tell a fairy tale.
Oh, goody. I love fairy tales.
Yeah, me too.
Me three. There are always wonderful things to count in fairy tales.
Oh, yeah, we like fairy tales.
All right,
Great.
you
When
all
are you going
just
to start?
Get comfy and quiet. Grover will begin.
Wait a second, Grover. There's some more people. Hey, everybody, come on. Grover's going to tell a fairy tale.
Terrific. I love fairy tales.
Ooh, me
fairy
too.
tale is secret to go?
Okay, everybody.
fairy
all right.
tales.
Oh,
me loves the one about the giant cookie.
Hello?
Okay, Grover, go ahead.
Thank you. Once upon a time...
Ah, shucks.
What is the matter, Harry?
I already heard that story.
But how do you know? I barely got started.
Well, you said once upon a time.
Yeah?
Well, the story I heard goes just like that.
But Harry, lots and lots of fairy tales begin once upon a time.
Oh, I didn't know that. Sorry, Grover.
It is quite all right. Once upon a time, a sweet, lovable little princess was riding her horsey through the woods. She was galloping along, having a good time. Galump, 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 like that. When?
Grover?
What is it now, Harry?
Grover, I want to know, what's the horsey's name?
The horse's name is Sherman. All right? May I continue now?
Wait, Grover. What's the princess's name?
Shirley. Princess Shirley and her horsey Sherman. Now may Grover continue?
Oh, sure, Grover.
Thank you. Now, Shirley was galloping along on Sherman, having a wonderful time in the woods, looking at the trees and the bunny rabbits and the flowers and the birdies, when all of a sudden it started to rain, and it began to get darker and darker, and the wind began to blow, and there was thunder and lightning, and Princess Shirley told Sherman to carry her home as fast as he could. But it was no use. Poor Shirley and Sherman got lost.
Poor Shirley.
Finally, after a long time, when they were very wet and tired and all raggled and bedraggled from being out in the storm, they saw a light. And there was a great big castle that looked so nice and warm and cozy inside. They knocked at the door, and the queen who lived in the castle came and opened the door. And Shirley said very politely, "We have got lost in the storm and need a place to stay for the night. May we please stay here?" "Oh, no," said the queen. "This castle is just for kings and queens and princesses and royal people like that." "But I am a princess," said Shirley. The queen laughed and said, "Ho, ho, you are not a princess?" "Oh, I know I am all wet and raggled and bedraggled from the storm," said Shirley, "but I am still a princess. Please let us come in." "Oh, all right," said the queen. "I'll let you stay here tonight, but tomorrow you must scrub all the floors and wash all the dishes and rake the leaves in the yard and put clean newspaper in the birdcage." And she took them up and up and up to the very tippy-top of the castle, to the tiniest, dirtiest room they had ever seen.
Boy, I don't like that old queen.
I don't either. She's a meanie.
Are you kidding? She's terrific. She's a regular grouch. She's letting that silly old princess sleep in the best room in the
Please,
castle.
we are getting to the most exciting part. The queen began to think to herself, "I must find out if this girl really is a princess, and I know just how to do it." So this is what the queen did. When Shirley and Sherman were in the bathroom brushing their teeth, she put a tiny little pea under the mattress in Shirley's bed. You see, she knew that if Shirley was a princess, she would have such delicate skin, she would feel that tiny little pea right through the mattress, and it would bother her and keep her awake all night. And sure enough, that is just what happened. Shirley did not sleep a wink all night. She tossed and turned and groaned and moaned and came downstairs in the morning looking just awful with bags under her eyes and a terrible headache. "I did not sleep at all," she told the Queen. "There was such a great big lump in my mattress." Well, the Queen knew right away that Shirley really was a princess, and she said to her, "Now I know you really are a princess, and so of course you do not have to wash the dishes or rake the leaves, and you will marry my son, the handsome prince, and live happily ever after." And that is just what happened. The end.
One wonderful fairy tale.
You know, Harry, it's really hard to clap good when you're all covered with fur.
Yeah, I know.
Wait a minute. That's ridiculous, Grover. Why should she marry the prince when she never even met him? What if she didn't like him? Why couldn't she just go back to her castle and ride her horse or open a lemonade stand or learn to read instead of getting married?
But Prairie Dawn, fairy tales always end like that, with everybody getting married and living happily ever after.
Oh, no, Grover. There are lots of fairy tales that don't end like that.
Really?
Of course. Would you like to hear one?
Certainly, I am most curious.
All right. This is a story called Silly Annabelle. Once upon a time, in a village in a faraway land, there lived a little girl named Annabelle. Annabelle liked to lie in the grass and watch the clouds, and she liked to work in her vegetable garden, and she liked to read books about trains, although she'd never seen one because her village was too small to have a train station. But most of all, she liked to sing. She would sing all day long, whatever she was doing. And wherever she went, people would say, "There goes silly Annabelle, singing as always. Do you think she'll ever stop?" But of course, she never did. Well, one day, the people in Annabelle's village woke up to find that a huge dragon had appeared during the night and was running around having a good time knocking over fences and chasing cows and digging great big holes in the street and eating the straw roofs off the houses and just making a terrible mess of everything.
Oh, that sounds like Oscar.
You kidding? I never get to have fun like that.
Go on, Prairie Dawn. Tell us what the dragon looked like. Was it green? Did he have lots of teeth, huh?
No. This dragon was yellow with big orange splotches. And he only had 2 teeth. One coming up from the bottom of his mouth and one coming down from the top.
Was he as big as Mr. Looper's store?
Oh, much bigger. And he had a tail as long as all Sesame Street.
Wow.
Well, you can imagine all the trouble a dragon like that would cause. All the people in Annabelle's village wondered what to do. Then finally, one old man remembered that his grandmother had told him about a recipe for a magic powder that would turn big dragons into little dragons. So everybody went off and got all the things they needed to make the magic powder. They got mushrooms and turnip seeds and a feather from a swan and dust from the northwest corner of the attic of the tallest house in the village. Then they ground it all up together to make the powder. But then the old man remembered that to make the powder work, you had to put it on the tip of the dragon's nose. Uh-oh, everybody said. How are we going to put the magic powder on the tip of the dragon's nose? The school teacher had an idea. "I'll climb up a tree," he said, "and throw the powder down on the dragon's nose." But that didn't work because the dragon wrapped his tail around the tree and shook it so hard that the school teacher fell out with a loud crash and had to be carried home. The doctor thought they should sprinkle the powder on some cabbages and put them where the dragon would find them and eat them and get the powder all over his nose himself. But it turned out that the dragon didn't like cabbages and wouldn't go near them. At last, after 100 other ideas had failed, Annabelle asked to try. "Oh, silly Annabelle," everyone said. "How could you put powder on the dragon's nose?" "I could sing to him," Annabelle answered, "and that might work." Of course, everyone laughed and said, "Silly Annabelle." but in the end, they let her try because they didn't know what else to do. So Annabelle, feeling very frightened, took some of the powder in her hand, walked slowly out toward the dragon, and began singing. She just made up the words as she went along, and this is what she sang. Please, my friend, there is something I have always longed to know. Please, my friend, I ask you before you have to go. Oh, what does a dreaming dragon dream of? What passes through a dreaming dragon's head? Does a dreaming dragon dream of toys and candy? Or of digging holes and eating roofs instead? Oh, what dreams will make a dragon happy? What kind of dream will make a dragon smile? Do you dream of telling jokes and being friendly? Or of scaring cows and chasing them a mile? Oh, what does a dreaming dragon dream of? Please tell me what I've always longed to know. Sleep and dream of all the things that dragons dream of. Won't you dream a dream before you have to go? Well, as Annabelle sang her song, the dragon stopped frisking around and pulling up bushes with his tail and began to listen. Then, sure enough, he started slowly swinging his head back and forth to the song. His eyelids began to drop. He got sleepier and sleepier, and at last he stretched out full length on the ground, rolled over on his side, and began to snore. Annabelle tiptoed forward and put all the magic powder right on the tip of the sleeping dragon's nose. At first, nothing happened. Then all of a sudden, the dragon began to shrink. He got smaller and smaller and smaller, till he was only about as big as a big dog. And since that was just the right size for a pet, Annabelle took the little dragon home with her and kept him in the backyard, where he loved to run about and eat the lima beans she fed him from her garden. And the people were so proud of Annabelle and so grateful to her for putting the magic powder on the dragon's nose that they made her the mayor of the village and never called her Silly Annabelle again.
Oh, nice.
That is two wonderful fairy tales we've heard.
Boy, I sure like that one.
Yeah, that old Annabelle was really brave.
So, Prairie, this Annabelle, she did not meet a prince and get married and live happily ever after?
That's right. At least not in this story, Grover. Maybe she did in another one.
Well, that would be nice, Prairie, but I like your story just the way it is.
Oh, gee, thank you, Grover.
Hey, Bert and I have a story too. We'll tell it together, okay?
Sure, that way it'll be twice as bad.
Quiet, Oscar. Go on, Ernie.
Oh, just a second. Let me take out my gum. Where'll I put it? Oh, I know. I'll stick it right here next to me. Okay. Now, this is called The Brothers Who Always Complain. Now, once upon a time, there were two brothers, Ned and Ted. They lived together in a nice house on a nice farm with a goat and a cow and a horse.
And a pigeon. Don't forget the pigeon, Ernie.
Oh, sorry, Bert. And a pigeon. And they always had plenty of everything they needed. Wood for their fire, and warm clothes for the winter, and books to read.
And oatmeal to eat. And don't forget the oatmeal, Ernie.
Right, Bert. In fact, old Ned and Ted never had to worry at all. Everything was just peachy. But instead of being happy and thinking about how lucky they were, they complained all the time. Ted would complain that the neighbors down the road had a bigger, nicer house to live in.
And Ned would complain that the neighbors across the road had more oatmeal to eat.
And they both would complain about the neighbor at the bottom of the hill who had 2 goats and 2 cows and 2 horses.
And 2 pigeons.
It's not fair, said Ted. We should have a bigger, nicer house.
It's not fair, said Ned. We should have a lot more oatmeal to eat.
It's not fair, said Ned and Ted together. We should
have
3 goats and 3 cows and 3 horses
and 3 pigeons.
And so, one night, Ned and Ted were sitting around in front of their cozy fire, just generally complaining that nothing was as nice or as big or as much or as many as it should be, when Ned said,
If only we could just wish for what we want and have our wishes come true.
And no sooner had Ned said that than there was a puff of smoke, and there appeared a magic little fairy-type person wearing tennis shoes and a pancake on her head.
Ernie, that's not right. Who ever heard of a fairy wearing tennis shoes and a pancake? Fairies have wings and clothes that keep changing colors.
Wings?
Yeah.
And clothes that change colors? Well, that's ridiculous, Bert. Who's going to believe that?
Who's gonna believe a fairy wearing a pancake?
Oh, I see fairies wearing pancakes all the time, Bert.
And I see them with wings, so there.
Well, this one has a pancake, Bert.
Okay, but if she has a pancake, then she has to have wings. It's my fairy tale too, Ernie.
Well, okay, I guess that's fair, Bert, old buddy. Let's do that part again. One night, Ned said,
Oh, if only we could just wish for what we want and have our wishes come true.
and suddenly there was a puff of smoke, and there was a fairy with wings and a pancake on her head. And she told Ned and Ted that she would give them 3 wishes. 1 wish for Ned, 1 wish for Ted, and 1 wish that they would have to make together. And she said that whatever they wished for would come true. Then she politely tipped her pancake, flapped her wings, and flew up the chimney. Ned and Ted were very excited, and they began to talk about what kind of house to wish for,
And how much oatmeal?
and how many cows and horses.
And how many pigeons?
And pretty soon they began to argue, because Ted wanted a big ranch house with lots of horses and cows and a rope to twirl.
And Ned wanted an old castle with an iron gate and plenty of places for pigeons to build their nests. And Ned also wanted 1,000,000 bowls of plain oatmeal.
But Ted liked his with raisins and cinnamon. So you can see that they had a lot to argue about. They argued all night.
And finally, after arguing and arguing, they got very hungry because it was almost breakfast time. And without thinking, Ned said, Boy, I'm hungry. I wish I had a bowl of plain oatmeal right now. And sure enough, as soon as he had said it, a bowl of plain oatmeal magically appeared before him.
You nincompoop, shouted Ted. Now look what you've done. You've wasted your whole wish for 1 stupid bowl of oatmeal. And it doesn't even have raisins and cinnamon in it. I wish that bowl of oatmeal were stuck to your head.
And sure enough, as soon as Ted had said that, the bowl of oatmeal flew up and stuck to the top of Ned's head.
And so they each had wasted a wish. And the only wish left was the one they had to make together.
Ned tried and tried to pull the bowl of oatmeal off his head, but it wouldn't budge.
Ted tried too, but he couldn't do it either.
Finally, Ned said, There is only one thing left to do. We will have to use our last wish to wish the bowl of oatmeal off my head.
Oh, nothing doing, Ned, said Ted. We can't waste our last wish for something like that. We have to wish for a ranch with lots of cows and horses.
Fat chance, Ted, said Ned. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life with a bowl of oatmeal stuck to my head, and that's the only wish I will agree to make. And Ned refused to talk about any wish except the wish that would get the bowl of oatmeal off his head.
So Ted finally realized that his brother Ned would never change his mind, and there was nothing left to do but wish the bowl of oatmeal off his head. Just then the magic fairy appeared and asked if they were ready to make their last wish.
Yes, said Ned. We want to wish this bowl of oatmeal off my head.
Yeah, said Ted. We want to wish that bowl of oatmeal off old Ned's head.
And sure enough, as soon as they had finished speaking, the bowl of oatmeal was off Ned's head.
Well, there you go, said the magic fairy. Maybe that'll teach you guys a lesson. Don't start making wishes until you really have something to wish for. And she flew away up the chimney. Old Ted and Ned never saw her again, and they never complained for the rest of their lives either. The end.
Oh no, rats, it isn't fair. I don't believe it. Why does this always happen to me?
Hey, Bert, the story's over. You can stop complaining now.
It's not for the story, Ernie. I sat in your chewing gum.
Oh. Oh, that's okay, Bert. Don't worry. I've got some more.
Swell.
Hey, and when we get home, I'll help you get the gum off your pants.
Ah, that is three wonderful fairy tales. Oh, I love it. This is so much fun. I would even like to tell a fairy tale myself. May I?
Oh, sure, Count. Go ahead.
Oh boy, another story.
Which fairy tale are you going to tell, Count?
I think I will tell the story of the 7 dwarfs and the 6 swans and the 12 dancing princesses and
Wait a minute, Count. You're mixing a whole bunch of stories up together.
Yeah, Count. You're only supposed to tell one story at a time.
Oh, well, all right then. I will tell the story of Goldilocks and the 23 bears.
That's not right, Count. It's Goldilocks and the 3 bears, not 23.
Only 3? A measly 3 bears? Perhaps it's the abridged version.
No, it's always been just 3 bears, Count.
Rats and bats, it would have been much more fun with 23. But all right, Goldilocks and the 3 bears. Once upon a time, No, make that twice upon a time. No, that's 3 times upon a time. 4 times upon a time. 5 times upon a time. 6,
Count,
7,
stop
8,
counting.
9
No,
times.
Count, don't count.
Oh, excuse me, please. Sometimes it's very hard to stop. It's like the hiccups. I will start again. Once upon a time, there were 3 bears. A papa bear, a mama bear, and a little baby bear. And they lived in a house in the woods where they ate their porridge out of bowls. The papa bear had a great big porridge bowl, and the mama bear had a middle-sized porridge bowl, and the baby bear had a little tiny porridge bowl.
What's porridge? That like cookies?
No, Cookie Monster. Porridge is like oatmeal.
Oatmeal cookies?
No. Just plain, regular, mushy, wonderful oatmeal.
Oh, well, they only bears what they know. Oh, sorry for interruption, Count.
Quite all right. That is one interruption. Now, one morning, the 3 bears sat down to have their breakfast. But the porridge was too hot to eat, and so they decided to take a walk until it cooled off. While they were gone, a little girl named Goldilocks came walking through the woods and saw the bear's house. What a nice little house, she thought. I wonder who lives there. She knocked at the door. Knock, knock, knock. But there was no answer, of course, because the bears were not home. So, even though she knew very well that no one had invited her, she opened the door and went in. And there, sitting on the table, were 3 bowls of porridge. And, yes, 3 spoons, 3 napkins, 1 set of salt and pepper shakers, 1 dozen roses.
Count, you're doing it again.
So I am. Thank you, Big Bird.
You're welcome.
To continue. Goldilocks tasted the porridge in the great big bowl. It was too hot. She tasted the porridge in the middle-sized bowl, but it was too cold. She tasted the porridge in the little tiny bowl, and it was just right. So she ate it all up. And then she saw 3 chairs. A great big chair, a middle-sized chair, and a little tiny chair. She sat in the great big chair. It was too hard, so she tried the middle-sized chair. It was too soft, so she tried the little tiny chair, and it was just right. But no sooner than she was all settled and cozy in the little tiny chair, broke into 100 pieces right under her. That's 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces,
Count,
7
count.
pieces. Oh, oops, sorry again, my friends. That was 2 times. 3 times I got carried away. But who's counting? Now let me see. Yes. After the chair episode, Goldilocks thought she would lie down and take a nap. She went upstairs to the bedroom, where she saw a great big bed, a middle-sized bed, and a little tiny bed. She lay down on the great big bed, but it was too hard. She tried the middle-sized bed, and it was too soft. However, the little tiny bed felt just right, and she fell sound asleep. After a while, the 3 bears returned home from their walk. When the papa bear saw his porridge bowl, he said, "Who has been tasting my porridge?" The mama bear said, "Who has been tasting my porridge?" And the baby bear said, "Who has been tasting my porridge and eaten it all up?" Then the papa bear saw that someone had been sitting in his chair. And he said, "Who's been sitting in my chair?" And the mama bear said, "Who's been sitting in my chair?" And the baby bear said, "Who's been sitting in my chair and broken it all to pieces?" Then they all went upstairs to the bedroom, and the Papa Bear saw that someone had been lying in his bed. And he said, "Who has been lying in my bed?" And the Mama Bear said, "Who has been lying in my bed?" But the Baby Bear said, "Somebody has been lying in my bed, and she's still there, a little girl-type person. I think she ate all my porridge and broke my chair." And the Baby Bear began to make so much noise that Goldilocks woke up. And when she saw the bears looking down at her, she became very frightened. And she leaped out of bed and ran down the stairs and out the door, lickety-split, as fast as her 2 legs could carry her. She ran and ran and ran, mile after mile. She was running 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles. Wonderful! She ran as if 100 bears were chasing her. No, 200. Wonderful! Ah, yes. 1 bear, 2 bears, 3 bears, 4 bears, 5 bears, 6 bears, 8 bears. She ran mile after another. 11, 12 miles, 13 miles, 14 miles. I love it. Oh, 18 bears, 19 bears, 20 bears. Marvelous. Oh, she didn't stop running for days. And 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. It's terrific. 36 bears, 49 miles, still counting.
That's enough, Count. You're going to wear yourself out.
Come on, Count. You gotta settle down.
Yes, it's 151 bears, marvelous. 96 miles, 67 days and nights. I love it.
Okay, I think we can let him go now.
Thank you. Oh my, that was wonderful.
Count, you didn't finish your story.
I didn't? Let me see. Yes. And Goldilocks ran all the way home. I'm pooped.
Very nice.
I like that.
Boy, Count, you sure work hard when you tell a story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Big Bird is going to sing for us a song that tells the story of a very famous bird. Is that not exciting? Okay, Big Bird?
You have heard songs about eagles, I know, and larks and canaries and even a crow. But the song that I'll sing you again and again is the song of a chicken, Attila the Hen. The song of a chicken, Attila the Hen. She lived in the barnyard with all of her chicks. She hatched half a dozen, which really means 6. She worked hard to feed them and did what she could to help them grow up to be healthy and good. To help them grow up to be healthy and good. Now one day when she was instructing her brood to practice their pecking and scratching for food, a small patch of yellow attracted her eye, and she called to her chicks with a loud joyful cry. She called to her chicks with a loud joyful cry. Said Attila the Hen when they'd all gathered round, "These are kernels of corn that I found on the ground. With sunlight and water they'll grow nice and tall, and blossom with corn that will feed one and all. And blossom with corn that will feed one and all. And so we should plant them and keep them from harm. I'll go ask for help from our friends on the farm." But all of the animals answered with scorn when she asked who will help us to plant all this corn. She asked who will help us to plant all this corn. "Not I," said the brown cow, "not I," said the horse. "Not I," said the pig, "I'm too busy, of course." "Not I," said the hound dog, "not I," said the cat. "Not I," they all answered, and so that was that. "Not I," they all answered, and so that was that. The chicks and Attila, they planted the seeds. They watered them well and they pulled out the weeds. But all of the animals answered with scorn when she asked who will help us to care for the corn. She asked who will help us to care for the corn. Hey, you know this part now? Sing with me. "Not I," said the brown cow, "not I," said the horse. "Not I," said the pig, "I'm too busy, of course." "Not I," said the hound dog, "not I," said the cat. "Not I," they all answered, and so that was that. "Not I," they all answered, and so that was that. When time for the harvesting finally drew near, Attila said, "Now we'll pick each golden ear." But all of the animals answered with scorn when she asked who will help us to harvest the corn. She asked who will help us to harvest the corn. Come on, everybody, sing! "Not I," said the brown cow, "not I," said the horse. "Not I," said the pig, "I'm too busy, of course." "Not I," said the hound dog, "not I," said the cat. "Not I," they all answered, and so that was that. "Not I," they all answered, and so that was that. So Attila the Hen and her chicks picked the crop. They carried the corn to the big old stove top. But all of the animals answered with scorn when she asked who will help us to cook all the corn. She asked who will help us to cook all the corn. Nice and loud now. Not I, said the brown cow, not I, said the horse. Not I, said the pig, I'm too busy, of course. Not I, said the hound dog, not I, said the cat. Not I, they all answered, and so that was that. Not I, they all answered, and so that was that. So the chickens themselves cooked the corn soup and bread. Attila was saying how well we'll be fed. Not one of the animals answered with scorn when she asked who will help us to eat all the corn. She asked who will help us to eat all the corn.
Me! Me eat the corn fritters and corn muffins too. Me eat corn on the cob and lots of corn stew. Me eat corn forever until me all full.
No, Cookie Monster, no, that's not how it goes.
What?
This is what happens. She asked who will help us to eat all the corn. I will, said the brown cow. I will, said the horse. I will, said the pig. Yes, indeed, and of course. I will, said the hound dog. I will, said the cat. I will, they all answered, but that wasn't that. I will, they all answered, but that wasn't that. Oh no, said Attila, there's no corn for you. I'm sorry to learn eating's all that you'll do. When I asked for your help, you just answered with scorn. So now you won't share in the taste of our corn. My chicks and I only will eat all the corn.
Very nice.
Hey,
Great
you
song.
sang that real good, Big Bird.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's a good song, isn't it, Ernie?
Oh, it sure is, Prairie.
That's one wonderful song.
Wait, me no good story for Cookie Monster to tell.
Which story is that, Cookie Monster?
It's called Hansel and Gretel. Terrific story, me love it.
Oh, well, tell it, Cookie.
Okay, it go like this. Once upon a time, their brother and sister named of Hansel and Gretel. Me forget this part.
And they lived with their mommy and daddy in a house near the forest, Cookie.
Yeah. Thank you, Prairie Dawn.
You're welcome.
Me love this story. Okay, Hansel and Gretel live with their mommy and daddy in house near forest, and every day they
Went into the forest to gather wood for the fire.
that right. Wood for fire. Yeah, they go to the forest to gather wood for fire, and then one day something happened. Me think,
Hey, didn't they go farther into the woods than they'd ever gone before?
Hey, that sound good. Me buy that. Okay. Hansel and Gretel look for wood for fire, and they go farther into the forest than they ever go before. When suddenly they what next?
They saw a house.
Right. They see house. This house made from gingerbread, right?
That's right. And they...
No, wait. This part me know. Me take it from here. Okay. They see a house made from gingerbread with vanilla icing for windows and lemon frosting for roof and door made from chocolate with cookie for doorknob and chimney made from strawberry meringue and candy canes and maple sugar and jelly beans everywhere. Well, old Hansel and Gretel get pretty hungry by this time, so they start to eat. Cowabunga, me love this story. They eat chocolate door and gingerbread wall and lemon roof and candy cane and cookie doorknob. Oh boy. Oh, and strawberry meringue chimney. Oh, me love this part. And they eat gingerbread and chocolate and lemon frosting and jelly beans. And they not stop eating for 3 days. Oh, eat lemon gingerbread, strawberry, chocolate. Oh, wonderful story. And when they finish eating house, they go home and live happily ever after, except for maybe little tummy ache. Oh boy, good story, huh?
Wait a minute, Cookie. That doesn't sound like the Hansel and Gretel story I know.
It doesn't sound like the one I know either.
What you mean?
Well, in the one we know, they don't eat the whole house. And there's a mean old witch who tries to do real nasty things to Hansel and Gretel.
Oh, yeah, me know what you talking about. That different Hansel and Gretel. You talking about the Hansel and Gretel Hassenpfeffer from Whistleville. But me not like that story. Me like to tell the one about Hansel and Gretel Huckleberry from Yodeltown. That's the story where they eat the whole house. They eat the chocolate door, and the strawberry chimney, and the gingerbread,
Cookie, we understand. That was really swell, wasn't it, everybody?
Yeah, hooray for Cookie Monster's story.
Thank you.
Five wonderful fairy tales and one song about the chicken.
That Cookie Monster, he is so funny, is he not? Did you like his story about Hansel and Gretel? Oh, good. Grover wants you to have a good time. Now, I wonder who is going to tell the next fairy tale.
Is it okay if I tell a story now?
Of course, Harry. We would all like that very much.
It's called The Story of the Nightingale. It goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a king and a queen. They were very powerful, and they ruled over all the land they could see. But more important than anything else in the whole world to the king and queen was their young son, whom they called Prince Small One. The king and queen always said that if anything unhappy ever happened to Prince Small One, they would do everything within their great power to make him happy again. Well, one day something unhappy did happen to the prince, and what happened was this. He liked to go into the woods to listen to the little bird called the Nightingale. See, 'cause it sang so wonderfully it made him feel good just to hear it. But on this particular day, the Nightingale was flying around from tree to tree, and the prince was running after it, and he didn't look where he was going, and he tripped and he fell and he tumbled over and over, and he hurt his foot real bad. He couldn't even hardly walk on it. It hurt so much.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. But just then a farmer came by, driving his horse and wagon through the woods, and he put Prince Small One in the wagon and took him to the king and queen. The king and queen thanked the farmer very much and called all the palace doctors to come look at Prince Small One's foot. The doctors looked very carefully and said Prince Small One would have to go to bed and not walk on his foot at all for a whole week. Poor Prince Small One. A whole week without playing or running or going to the woods to listen to the Nightingale. He got into bed and he just sat there with a very sad look on his face. The king and the queen asked him if he could think of anything at all that would cheer him up. Well, he said, it would cheer me up if I could listen to the Nightingale. But I can't, because it's very far away out in the woods. Well, said the king, why don't we bring the Nightingale here? Yeah, said the queen, that's a good idea. And everybody in the whole palace went out to look for the Nightingale. And finally the chief gardener caught it and put it in a cage and brought it back to the palace. Good, thought the king and queen. Now our son is sure to cheer up because the Nightingale will sing for him. But the Nightingale didn't sing. It just sat in the cage, as quiet as a mouse. What's the matter with it? Said the king. I don't know, your majesty, said the chief gardener. It was singing when I found it. Maybe it's hungry, said the queen. Fetch some birdseed. But the Nightingale wouldn't eat the birdseed. I know why the bird won't sing, said the farmer who had rescued the prince. It's forgotten how. And the farmer went up to the birdcage and whistled and sang to show the Nightingale what to do. But the Nightingale didn't pay any attention. Then the king said, I know what's wrong. The Nightingale is tired. Let it sleep for a while. Then it will sing for the prince. But the king was wrong, too. The Nightingale didn't go to sleep, and it didn't sing either. It just sat quietly in the cage. This made the king and queen very angry. They said, what a stubborn bird that Nightingale is. Whatever are we going to do with it? And then Prince Small One said, I will tell you, the nightingale will not sing in a cage. You must take it out of the cage and let it go free. But if we let it go free, said the queen, it will fly away and you will not be able to hear it sing. And Prince Small One answered her, at least I will know it is singing somewhere, and I can imagine how beautiful its song is. But if it stays in the cage, it will not sing at all, and that would be very sad. Please, let it go. And so, because that was the prince's wish, the king and queen ordered that the nightingale be let out of the cage. But to everybody's surprise, the nightingale didn't fly away back to the woods, but sat on the windowsill instead and sang for the prince so brightly and so beautifully that Prince Small One smiled, even though his foot hurt him very much. And the nightingale sang for him every day for the whole week. This kept Prince Small One so cheered up that he hardly minded being in bed at all, and it seemed like almost no time before his foot was as good as new and he could go back to the forest and listen to the nightingale all day long. And the king and the queen were so pleased with the nightingale that they announced that forevermore the nightingale would be known as the royal bird. But the nightingale didn't give two hoots about being the royal bird. It was just happy to be free and to know that it had helped its friend, Prince Small One. The end.
That beautiful story, Harry.
Thank you, Cookie Monster.
Boy, aren't birds nice? They're smart, too.
I really like that, Harry.
Oh, me too. It's one of my favorite ones.
Aw, gosh.
Hey, you know what? I've got a great idea. Why don't we all tell a story together and act it out?
Oh, I like that idea, Big Bird.
Yes, wonderful. One good idea.
Now, what story should we tell all together?
How about Jack and the Beanstalk?
Oh, that's okay with me.
Are there things to count in this Jack in the Bread box?
Beanstalk count, Beanstalk.
Whatever. Are there things to count?
Sure, Count. And you can be the guy who buys the cow. He gets to count.
Wonderful. I love it.
Excuse me, there are things to eat in this story?
There's a cook in the giant's castle. That could be you, Cookie.
Fair enough.
Oh, I want to make the noises, especially when the beanstalk comes crashing down. Boom, like that.
And I'll be the giant, 'cause I'm so tall.
And I'll be Jack because I'm so small.
I'll be Jack's mother. And Grover, you can tell the story.
Yes, I will tell the story.
Okay, what other parts are there? Oh, I know. The cow and the chicken. Bert,
What?
you can be the cow and the chicken, Bert.
Oh, yeah, sure. Same as always. Good old Bert. I get to be the cow and the chicken.
Well, that's because you're so good at it, Bert.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ernie.
Okay, who's left? Oh, Oscar. He didn't get a part.
Hey, that's okay, Prairie Dawn. I don't want a part.
Hey, Oscar can be the singing harp.
Yeah, good idea.
The what? Wait a minute, hold it. Oscar the Grouch won't play any singing harp in any fairy tale.
Oh, of course you will, Oscar. Do not be silly.
Yeah, come on, Oscar. We gotta have a harp.
No way.
Please, Oscar. You could make him a grouchy singing harp.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I guess we're all set then. Go ahead, Grover. Start the story.
All right. Imagine, if you will, that we have traveled far, far away to another time and place. A time when magic filled the air and small children did foolish things. A place where giants walked and singing harps were all the rage. Now, in this time and place, there once lived a boy named Jack,
Yeah, that's me.
who lived with his mother
That's me.
in a small cottage by the side of the road. Now, Jack and his mother had a cow. That's me, whom they loved very much. But one day, a sad thing happened.
Jack,
Yes, Mother dear?
Jack, we have no food left in the house and no money to buy more. You will have to sell our cow that we love so much.
All right, Mother. Come along, cow we love so much. I have to take you to market to sell you for money to buy food.
Moo. And so Jack led the cow along the road to the market. When they got there, they met a man who said,
Ah, wonderful! 1 cow!
Would you like to buy her?
Of course, why not? I will give you 3 of these magic beans for her. No, wait. I will give you 6 beans. No, make that 11. No, 52 beans.
3 is okay, cow.
No, it's not enough. I will give you 109 beans. Here, 1 bean, 2 beans.
Count. You'll spoil the story. Just give me 3 beans.
Oh, sorry, Ernie. I mean Jack. There, 3 beans.
Oh, thank you. Here's your cow. Be nice to her. Bye, cow.
Moo.
1 moo. Oh, wonderful. Say moo again.
Moo.
2 moos. I love it.
And so poor Jack returned home with nothing to show for selling the cow except 3 beans. Jack's mother was very unhappy when he told her.
You sold our cow for 3 beans? Oh, Jack, how can we live on 3 beans? At least the cow is company. Now we have nothing.
And Jack's mother was so upset, she threw the beans out the window.
Ooh!
That night, they went to bed without any supper. But the next morning, when they awoke, they saw that the beans had sprouted and a huge beanstalk had grown up to the sky.
Mother, I will bravely climb up that beanstalk and see what is at the top,
said Jack bravely, and he kissed his mother goodbye and went to climb the beanstalk. He climbed and climbed.
Oh boy, this is hard work.
And climbed until he was a mile high. And there, at the top of the beanstalk, he saw a big, huge, preponderous castle. Jack walked up to the big, huge, preponderous front door and knocked on it.
Knock, knock, knock.
Very good, Harry. But there was no answer, so Jack pushed on the door and it swung open with a loud squeak. And Jack tippy-toed in and shut the door behind him.
Boy, it's dark in here.
What was that, Harry?
That's Jack bumping into stuff because he can't see in the dark.
Ouch, I just bumped into stuff that I couldn't see in the dark.
And being very careful not to bump into anything else in the dark, Jack tippy-toed along until he saw a light.
Hark.
He went toward it and found himself in a big, huge, preponderous kitchen. And what do you think he saw in the kitchen? He saw a table and a chair that were bigger and huger and more preponderous than any other table and chair he had ever seen. They were as big as his own house. Then he saw that there was someone else in the kitchen. It was the cook, cooking.
Dum-dum-dum-dum-dum.
Hi there.
Shh, quiet. And me got cake in oven. Making tuna fish casserole too. You want some?
Sure.
Okay. Hey, you know that you in castle of nasty old wicked giant?
Oh no. You mean the one who doesn't like little kids?
Yeah, that one. So maybe good idea if you go home. Oh, too late. Here come giant now.
Clunk, clunk, clunk.
Quick, hide before he find you here.
Clunk, clunk, clunk.
The heavy footsteps of the giant came closer and closer, and the cook hid Jack behind the stove just as the wicked giant walked in and said,
Fee-fi fiddly did. I think I smell a little kid. Is there someone else here, Cookie Monster? Cook?
Nobody but you and me, giant. You smelled chocolate cake me make for dessert. Yeah.
Chocolate cake? Don't you have any birdseed cookies?
No, remember, you forgot to bring home birdseed yesterday.
Rats. Well, give me my dinner anyway.
And the cook gave the nasty old giant his dinner, and the giant ate it all up. Then he wiped his mouth and said,
Okay, cook, bring me my singing harp and my hen that lays the golden eggs.
Right away, Chief.
And the cook went out and came back with a harp that sang and a cute little hen that laid golden eggs.
Oh, I am the singing harp triller, harp triller, harp triller. I am the singing harp. There's nothing I hate more than singing. Phooey!
I am the hen who lays eggs of gold, eggs of gold, eggs of gold. I am the hen who lays eggs of gold. Cluck, cluck, brock, brock. And the nasty old giant sat and played with his singing harp and his hen that laid golden eggs, and he laughed and laughed and laughed.
Ho, ho, ho. Ho, 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 ho. Cha-cha-cha.
Brock, brock.
Ho, 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 ho.
Etc., etc. And the harp sang, and the little hen laid golden eggs until the giant grew tired and yawned, and finally fell asleep with his head on the table and began to snore. And Jack came out from behind the stove and was going to sneak out and go home when the harp said,
Take me home with you. I can't stand working for this giant guy anymore. Take me home with you and I'll sing for you, maybe.
And the hen said, me too, yeah, I don't want to stay here anymore either. Take me home with you and I'll lay my golden eggs for you.
Hey, me come too. Me tired of cooking for giant. He never say please or thank you or my goodness, that delicious. Me cook for you instead, okay?
Okie dokie.
So Jack picked up the harp and the cook picked up the hen and they ran out of the castle and climbed down, down, down. And when they got to the bottom of the beanstalk, Jack got his hatchet and chopped it down so the giant could not come after him.
Pretty good, huh, Grover? That was the beanstalk falling down.
Yes, Harry, that was wonderful. So, now everything was different for Jack and his mommy. Every day the hen would lay a golden egg. Brock, brock, brock. And Jack would take it to market to buy food for the cook to cook.
Dum, 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 dum. You want spaghetti and meatballs or herring on French toast for dinner?
And while they ate, the singing harp would sing to them.
Tra-la-la-la-la-la already. Tra-la-la-la-la-la.
Not only that, but one day Jack had enough golden egg left over to buy back their old friend the cow. Moo.
That is 9,287 moos. Wonderful.
So now they were all together and lived happily ever after.
Oh, here. Try marinara sauce on the donut. Oh, me hope you like string beans with peanut butter.
Mary had a creepy lamb, its fleece was colored blue. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb would eat her shoe.
Oh, Jack, I am so happy.
Oh, me too, Mother dear.
That is one happy person, two happy persons. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, that makes three happy persons.
And for all we know, the wicked giant is still sleeping to this very day. The end. Okay, Big Bird, the story is over. Big Bird, you can stop snoring.
He's really asleep.
That is one sleeping bird.
Gee, it must be past his nap time.
Yeah, it's past my nap time, too. But I think I'll run over to Mr. Hooper's store for a glass of milk first. Bye, everybody. I had a nice time.
Oh, wait, Harry, me come with you.
Oh, okay, Cookie.
Bye-bye, Harry.
Bye, Cookie.
Oh, bye, Prairie, bye, Count.
Count you later.
Goodbye.
Bye, Oscar. Oh, Scobert. Hey, bye, Grover. Bye, Prairie.
Bye. Bye-bye, everybody. And now, I think it is time for you to take the record off the record player. But do it very quietly, so you do not wake up Big Bird. Okay? Oh, thank you. Your furry old pal Grover is so proud of you.